Kasho ukuthi akakwazi nje kodwa ke uma eqala ngawo ukubona ngo2019 uhamba noGwabini.
That question is ambiguous. The question is ambiguous. Not that he doesn't know you.
Sorry, my lord.
You say you saw him for the first time in 2019.
Let me put it this way, my lord. At first, my submission was that he accused one said he doesn't know you in total at all. Now he says, I do know you, or I saw you for the first time in 2019 in the company of somebody that I know who is Gwabini.
Fine.
Usho kanjalo. Uthi ngaphambilini ebethe akakwazi. Kodwa ke manje ke onoma bekusho ummeli kodwa ke ummeli uthi cha ke emuva kokuthi ekhulumisene naye ke umsolo oqala uthi umsolo oqala cha. Akusuka ukuthi akakwazi. Uma eqala ukubona ngo2019 uhamba noGwabini.
Do you want to comment on that?
Ngizokubhekisa kuye accused number 1. Ngiyabonga ukuthi asho njalo bengisengithukile nami.
I'm gonna say this direct to accused number 1. I'm grateful that he says that. I was also now I have been shocked.
Now, accused number 2, because I'll chop and change with respect to accused number 1 and 2. But accused number 2 himself says he doesn't know you in total. He just seen you here yesterday in court.
Umsolo sibili ke na uthi akakwazi kwanhlobo nje. Qala ukubona izolo la enkantolo.
Uyazi ukuba bekusho mhlambe accused number 3, accused number 4, number 5 bengavumelana nawe.
If that was said or was coming from accused number 3, 4 and 5, I would have agreed with you.
Ngokozalo mhlambe la engizalwa khona ngicabanga ukuthi ungakantanzi ugogo wami ungakantanzi.
Okay. From where I was born, or back home where I was born, he is from Tanzi. Sorry, he is from the Tanzi family, and my grandmother is from the Tanzi family.
Oh, I see.
So by birth, he is from the Tanzi family.
Have you met accused number 2, and where did you meet him?
Ukuhlangana kwakho nomsola wesibili nommangalelo wesibili wahlangana kuphi naye?
Mangithi sesikhulile mhlambe sesikwazi ukubona ngakukhumbuza eFalse Loras.
When now we are talking about at the stage where we're grown up, we are able to see now. I would then say in False Loras.
And in False Loras, you refer to the 26th of October 2014.
Umuntu False Loras ukhuluma ngazo 26 October 2014.
Yebo?
Yes.
Enye futhi ngeke ngambona ngaphambilini ekhaya. Kuyangimangaza mawethu akakwazi kodwa cha asingayikho.
But previously I've seen him back home, so it comes as a surprise to me when he says he doesn't know me, but let's not go there.
And both accused number 1 and 2 will deny that they were at Gwabini's place on the 26th of October 2014.
Bobabili ke bazophikisa ke ukuthi babe kwaGwabini nge26 ka October ngo2014 bayaphika lokho.
Kuphuka phejani lo.
That is just a lie.
Accused number 1 will state that in 2013 until March 2013, he was staying at False Loras hostel at Basotweni section, but when he lost employment in March 2013, he returned home and stayed home until he returned again to stay with his uncle in Tembisa in 2015.
Is that the question or is that the statement?
I want you to comment on that.
Ngafisa ukuthi uphawule kulokho.
Ngeke ngazi ukuthi besebenza kuphi ulahlekene nomsebenzi asikaze sikuxoxa lokho.
I wouldn't know where he was working when he lost his employment. We have never discussed that.
The basis of that proposition to you is essentially this: that since March 2013, he's never returned to Johannesburg or Gauteng until 2015.
Just a moment. Uthi ke noma akushoyo kona konke lokho ukuthi kusukela ngoMarch ka2013 akakaze abuyele eGoli kwaze kwashaya u2015.
ngambona kodwa false lorus.
I saw him in Phosphorus.
Ngaba naye futhi ngaphuza naye beer. Yimi ngamdropa futhi.
I was with him, drank beer with him, and I'm the one who dropped him.
Accused number 2 will state that at the time of the shooting incident of the deceased Senzo Meiwa, he was employed at Sibanye Stillwater in Carltonville, and for that weekend he had obtained unpaid leave from the 27th of October 2014 to the 31st of October 2014.
27 October 2014 till?
The 31st of October 2014.
Uthi ke ngaleso sikhathi leso sokushona kwakhe noma ke sokushona kwakhe ke umufi uSenzo Meyiwa ngaleso sikhathi wayesebenza eSibanye Stillwater eCarltonville futhi ke wathola ke unpaid ke eyaqala nge-27 zika November October 2014 kwaze kwayoshaya i-31 zika October 2014.
And so comment if you wanna comment.
Uma ukuthi ke khona ungakusho kuloko ungaphawula.
Akukho engakusho ngazi ngomsebenzi wakhe eCarltonville kodwa engikwazi ukuthi ngambona nge-26.
There's nothing I can say. I know nothing about his employment in Carltonville. There's nothing that I can say. I know nothing about his employment, but what I do know is that I saw him on the 26th of October 2014.
And that when he knocked off from his morning shift on the 25th of October, he then embarked on his trip to go to Nongoma. Let me see, it's a difficult name. Kotlokolo, Nongoma, where he comes from.
Yeah.
So he was not in Gauteng that weekend of the 25, 26, 27 when this incident occurred.
Nokuthi ke wathi uma ephuma ke emsebenzini nge-25 zika October 2014 wabe ke esethatha uhambo oluya ke eKhotlokolo kwaNongoma. Akushoyo ke ukuthi nge-25, i-26, 27 kusho ukuthi ngalesa sikhathi ke isigameko bese senzeka ke wayengekho la eGoli yena.
Nama.
He's telling lies.
And I just want to go to these further instructions. And accused number 1 will deny that he at any stage. Wait. Sorry, my lord, let me take 1 second. You get it now. That's it, my lord, sorry. Accused number 1 will state that he has never attended your sister's wedding and that allegation is false.
Uthi ke umangalo wokuqala nomsolo wokuqala akakaze nje aye la bagwana khona wake usisi wakho ukuthi futhi leyo insolo lezo ziyamanga.
And accused number 1 states that he only, like I said, he met you in Tembisa with Gwabeni. And you stated that you know accused number 1 because his father is normally, correct?
Uthi yena ke wahlangana nawe uhamba noGwabini angithi ushilo futhi umfakazi wathi ubaba wakhe unormally.
Ngicabanga ukuthi withdrawile lo mbuzo ukuthi asazana. So
I thought you had withdrawn the question that we don't know each other.
It's fair. Now let's move on to this aspect now, because I was moving from instruction to instruction. Now, with respect to accused number 1, he also says that version that he gave Gwabeni, a .38 special revolver firearm, is false.
Aphinde athi ke accused number 1 lokhu okhulumile ukuthi wase enikeza uGwabini isibhamu esiyi.38 revolver kuwamanga lokho.
Ngicela mhlambe indlela yokuyivikela kodwa ke iqiniso yalazi.
I think that's just a way of defending himself, but he knows the truth.
Further, accused number 2 also states that it's a falsehood that you saw him at Gwabini changing from a black hoodie to a grey hoodie.
Accused number 2 uthi ke nalokho ke kungamanga ukuthi wambona khona lapha kwaGwabini echange ihoodie emnyama wase efaka egrey.
Ngambona.
I saw him.
Uyakwazi naye lokho.
And he knows that as well.
Accused number 1 and 2 deny any involvement in the killing of the deceased, Senzo Meyiwa.
Accused number 1 no number 2 bayaphika nje ukuthi bona ke baba neqhaza ke ekubulaweni kwakhe umufi uSenzo Meyiwa.
Njengoba ngingasho ngathi angishongo ukuthi ngababona bembulala.
As I've already said that I never saw them killing him, so yebo ngikubeka.
Ingakho ngangathanda ukuthi mhlambe ngibakhulumele amanga ngokuthi ngababona bembulala.
That is why I didn't want to tell lies or accusing them that I saw them killing him.
Now, if you want to comment, you'll comment. I want to give you the general evidence that's been led in this court, because you say you saw 1 and 3 with firearms respectively .38 and 9mm.
Ngizokunikeza ke ubufakazi noma ingxenye yobufakazi eseyothuliweke phambi kwale nkantolo ngoba ushilo ubufakazi bakho ukuthi wabona u1 no3 bephethe i.38 kanye ne9mm.
Now, evidence led here is that 2 suspects entered the Khumalo household.
Ubufakazi ke obuphambi kwale nkantolo ukuthi ke kunabalisa ababili abangena emzini wakwaKhumalo.
Further, that the first suspect was shorter,
nokuthi ke owoqala umsolo wayemfushane,
dark-skinned,
edark ke ngebala,
big eyes,
enamehla amakhulu,
and dreadlocks whose length extended. They kept on saying this, I'm going to do that, extended to this level.
Nama dreadlocks ke ababethi mabewachaza kubathi phela kule level nanje ngoba betshengisa ke ummeli indlela abachaba wachaze ngayo ama dreadlocks aloyo.
And that particular suspect was in possession of a firearm.
Nokuthi loyo msolo loyo ke wayephethe isibhamu.
Now, with respect to evidence led in this court, the second suspect was described as taller than the first one.
Ngobufakazi ke obusobethuliwe ke kule nkantolo ukuthi owesibili ke umsolo wayemude kulowoqala.
And his complexion was described as not too dark, not too light.
Bashilo kuma bemchaza ukuthi wayengekho dark, wayengekho light futhi.
He was wearing a hoodie.
Wayegqoke ihoodie.
And he was armed with a sharp object resembling a knife.
Nokuthi ke wayephethe ke isikhali ke esasifana ke nommese, sasisharp esasifana nommese. Kungathi ummese.
And furthermore, that the second suspect had a beard that was trimmed, and the reference was set an O-shaped. That means perhaps this, I don't know what O-shaped they said.
Bashilo ukuthi ke wayenale mustache ke indlela eyitrinywe ngayo ke bebonisa ke O-shape.
And that he had, there are people who leave this part of a beard here on the lower lip.
Nokuthi ke wayeshiye njela ngoba kunabantu ke uma besebeshave ke bashiya le ndawo la nokuthi wayeshiye le ndawo la
on the left,
on the left of a lip. So, do you want to comment about that with respect to your seeing 2 people and in possession of a firearm? Do you want to comment in that context, or is something that you can comment on?
Kukhona yini office ukuthi ke uphawule khona?
Ngiphawule ngakho ngangekho kaKhumalo.
I wouldn't comment about it. I wasn't at the Khumalo homestead.
You also testified that you partook in alcohol that night.
Yebo.
Yes.
And that you were drinking Jameson whiskey and tonic dashed with ice.
Yebo. Yes.
How many glasses of whiskey and tonic did you have that night?
Not spot glasses.
Sorry?
I say tots or glasses. People who drink whiskey, they talk about tots. Glasses, cold drink. No, look.
I've seen the tumbler being filled.
Glasses fine, but I'm just saying.
I've seen people dash it with Coke, fill it up.
They drink a glass of whiskey.
I don't
No,
drink.
fine.
I wouldn't know.
Double tots. Fine.
So were you drink? What quantity were you drinking of whiskey and tonic at the time, that night?
Wawuphuza kangakanani noma wawuphuza kangakanani yebo ngaleli langa ke noma uphuza ngani?
Sasingenayo mhlawumbe into esimeja ngayo. Sasiphuza nje sithela. Sasingenayo imeasurement. So ngeke ngikwazi ukuthi kuwe sasithela mhlawumbe 100 ml or 20. So
I wouldn't be able to tell you because we were not using anything to measure. We would just pour and drink, but we were not using anything to measure, whether it's 100 milliliter or 20.
But you were drinking from a glass.
But
correct?
naphuza ngeglass.
yes, asiphuza ngeglass.
Yes, we were.
And then later on, alcohol ran out and a necessity arose to go and buy again, correct?
Base kuphela ke utshwala kwanesidingo ke sokuthi nihambe futhi niyothenga obunye.
Ngicabanga ukuthi mabe yothenga bangabi ukuthengelwa mina kodwa akuyothenga utshwala ngoba abantu baningi babefuna mhlawumbe utshwala. Omunye mayengenabo nomunye izoyithengela. Angicabanga ukuthi ngaku ngizobheka ukuthi wena wayeyothenga 10, wayeyothenga ama black, wayeyothenga ama Heineken.
I don't think that the buying was specifically for me because there were many people there, so I would not be in a position to look, why are you buying 10, why are you buying black? It was because there were many people there.
Oh, let me clarify, Perez. Specifically for you, the whiskey Jameson bottle that was brought by Makosonke, is that right?
Yebo.
Yes.
It hadn't run out. You had it from the time you arrived at Fosloras until you left. You didn't need to buy further or more alcohol.
Sukela ngesikhathi ke wafika ngaso sokwazi kwayisikhathi wahamba ngaso ingabe waphuza nje yona kwangekho zange kube khona isidingo sokuthi uhambe futhi uyothenga enye.
Kulokho okushoyo ukuthi mhlawumbe mayiphelile ngahamba nobani uyothenga ini. Angeke ngithi mhlawumbe ayothengela mina. Mhlawumbe umunye engahamba uyithengela okwakho kuphuzwa kuyi. Ngeke ngikwazi ukuthi mhlawumbe yathi mayiphela ngasiphi isikhathi sathengani saphuzana.
I wouldn't be able to be in a position to say that when it ended or when it ran out, we then went to buy. And it was not to say that if I had left with someone, that person would have gone to buy it for me.
Now, just to complete that point and move on to another aspect, how sober were you when you observed the alleged incidents of 26 October 2014?
Wawusobha kangakanani ke uma ubona ke isehlakalo noma ke isigameko sange 26 October 2014?
Ngicabanga ukuthi ngoba ngababona ubekwazi ukubuya ngabuye ngahamba nabo ngadriver ngabashiya bengalimalanga ngicabanga ukuthi ngangisakhona.
Seeing that I saw them when they came back. I left, I drove with them, I dropped them, so I think that I was still able.
Now, in your evidence in chief, amongst the police officers that you interacted with regarding this matter, you talked about Warrant Officer Makubo, correct?
Ushilo ke izolo ufakazi zakhe ukuthi kumaphoyisa ke owakhulumisana nawo mayelana nodaba lolu ushilo igama lakhe Warrant Officer Makubo.
Yebo?
Yes.
And if I understood your evidence correctly, is that having done your own investigations, you then came to the conclusions that the accused persons that are before court are somehow involved in this case, correct?
Ushilo ke nokuthi uthe uma usuzenzele olwakho uphenyo wakusuthola ke ukuthi abasolwa ke laba abaphambi kwalenkantolo ukuthi ke ngandlela ethize ke ukuthi baya mbandakanyeka ke kulesehlakalo lesalicala lelo phambi kwenkantolo.
Ngifisa ukwazi ukuthi might investigation ingizenzele yona noma yenziwe yi-state.
Just wish to understand when you say my investigation that I did or that was done by the state.
That's what I wanted to understand from you, because in your evidence in chief towards the end yesterday, you were asked two aspects by my learned friend, Mr. Malone. And I want you to clarify for me, because remember, we are writing as you are speaking, so sometimes we miss things. So I don't want to put wrong things to you. So that's why I say clarify for me.
Ebengifuna ukuzwa kuwena-ke ngoba-ke izolo la egcineni-ke kwizinto okuyibuzwa uyena-ke umshushisi ngesinye isikhathi siyabhala-ke ngesikhathi wena usakhuluma ezinye izinto-ke singayitholi kahle-ke ingakho bengithi ngicela wena-ke ungichazele.
Ngochazela ukuthi uMakhubo ngazenzela mina investigation or yenziwa warrant officer Makhubo.
That I did the investigation or it was done by Makhubo.
Let me put this to you, these two questions that I say. Perhaps I heard from my learned colleague, Mr. Baloyi, then you gave answers to so that we can be on the same page. I think Mr. Baloyi asked this, and will tell me if I'm wrong. He asked you whether you met Colonel Gininda in Aviator Kempton Park, correct?
That's correct.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ukuthi ngibuzileke ukuthi ngahlangana noKenneth noGininda eAviator eKempton Park.
In fact, now, respect to him, he's a brigadier, but I've always known him as a colonel. And then he asked you, Colonel Gininda, in the presence of General Tony, what do you know about this matter? And if I'm wrong, you correct me. Your response to that was that there's nothing that you can say about the matter. Am I right?
Wasekubuza-ke uKenneth ngiyamazi ukuthi ubrigadier kodwa-ke sonke isikhathi ngimazi uKenneth. Wasekubuza-ke yena-ke uKenneth Gininda ukuthi ekubuza ekhona uKenneth Tony ukuthi wazini ngalolu daba wabusuthi wena-ke awazi lutho.
Ngicabanga ukuthi uthatha amanothi ngendlela e-wrong.
I think you took your notes in the wrong way.
Ngithe uKenneth Gininda ukuthi kwazi uzongibuza ingoba wayesereferwe uGeneral yini.
I said that the reason, what led Colonel Gininda to come and ask me questions is because he was referred to by the general. Yebo.
uKolonel Gininda ngamtshela lokho ayakafika ngibuza khona okumayelana nabasolo.
I then told Colonel Gininda that which he asked me regarding the suspects.
Okay. So that's your explanation. Let's leave that. Let's leave it there. Now let's come to this interaction with Makhubo, warrant officer, in the presence of General Leshabane. You remember that interaction?
Uyakhumbula-ke ukhulumisana noMakhubo ekhona uGeneral Leshabane?
Yebo.
Yes.
And prior to that, you said also present was General Shadrach Sibia, but I'm not sure whether when Makhubo was there, Sibia was also present. Clarify that for me.
Ukhulumile-ke nangaye uGeneral Sibia, angazi noma ngathi ukhuluma ngoGeneral Sibia nokuthi uMakhubo naye wayekhona yini lapho?
Yebo wayekhona.
Yes, Makhubo was there.
Okay. Now you are asked by Leshabane to say, repeat the info that you have given to me to Warrant Officer Makhubo so that he can hear it firsthand, correct?
So uthi-ke wase uGeneral Leshabane ethi kuwena-ke ngicela uphinde lokhu ongitshele kona-ke ekhona uWarrant Officer Makhubo ukuze ayizwele.
Wakusho uGeneral Leshabane.
Is that what General Leshabane said?
Who informed you to repeat what you had told Sibia and Leshabane to repeat it to Makhubo?
Kwakubani owayecela noma ekutshela ukuthi uphinde lokho owakusho kuSibia kanye noLeshabane ngathi sekukhona uMakhubo?
uGeneral Leshabane
General
owam-explainela uWarrant Officer Makhubo.
General Leshabane explained to Warrant Officer Makhubo.
Okay. And after that explanation was proffered to Makhubo, what did he say about that information that you had just given them?
Wase ethini-ke uMakhubo emuva kokuthi ese-explainelwe-ke uyena uGeneral Leshabane?
Mangikhumbule kahle angazi noma just say izolo singakhulumi nge-hearsay evidence isuka kubantu eyami noMakhubo. Kodwa
yesterday it was said by the court that we shouldn't refer to hearsay that was coming from myself and Makhubo, but
no, just wait what the law says. If counsel asks you a question which borders on hearsay, or for you to answer it requires hearsay, you are entitled to answer it. You are aware of that. And that hearsay is admissible.
Uma ubuzwa ukhanseli-ke ngokomthetho-ke uvumelekile-ke ukuthi uphenduleke lokho.
Okay. Umbuzo obuthi
wase-18 uma angithi kuthiwe uLishabane wami-explainela emuva kokuthi uLishabane sem-explaineke kunempendulo eyabuya kuMakhubo yathini leyo mpendulo emuva kokuthola i-explanation kuLishabane
Warrant Officer Makhubo wakuchitha lo information wathi akusiyona.
He disputed that and said that information is not correct.
Now let's go back to the information that you gave that Makhubo dismissed out of hand. What information pertaining to this case did you give?
Yiphi ke leyo information ayicitha wathi akusiyona?
Eyokuthi abasolwa umsolwa number 5 okunkani wayengekho lapho wayekade eboshwe kuye.
That accused number 5 was not there. He had been arrested by Makhubo by him.
And what about the other remaining suspects that are here? What did he say?
Wathini ngabanye laba abakhona?
Ngicabanga ukuthi wayikhuluma mhlambe ngesuspect ayiyazi ukuthi iboshwe uye kwi-previous case. Hayi abanye engabazi ngicabanga ukuthi wayikhuluma ngokuthi yena uyamazi unkani waboshwa uye.
I think he was referring to the suspect that was arrested by him, not the other suspects, because he knows Nkani, that Nkani was arrested by him.
Thank you.
In a previous case.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. Because the impression
In
now
the
is
previous
that
case.
Makhubo arrested him for this very case.
Oh, in the previous case.
Yes, very important.
And what was the reason for Makhubo to dismiss that information outright? What did he say to you was his reason to dismiss that information?
Kwakuyini isizathu esanikezwa uyena uMakhubo sokuthi achithe lokho?
Ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe i-evidence ayinayo kulokho naye kholelwa yikho wayekholelwa ukuthi u-accused number 5 uboshwe uye shuthi uye waziyo u-accused number 5.
I think the information that he had, or that he was referring to, that accused number 5 had been arrested by him. He knows about accused number 5.
I didn't intend to do this, but I'm going to now have to refer you to your statements that you made on the 31st of May 2023, a few weeks ago. I've got a handwritten one, but it's written by, I know this handwriting proper.
What's the statement number?
It's A245. It's a typed out statement. Do you have that document in front of you? My Lord, my Lord, the document in front of me has got 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 pages inclusive, and the 10th page is the commissioning page, and it's comprised of typewritten content, 21 paragraphs, my Lord. I just want to refer him to this particular aspect only. So, my family so in mind, my Lord. I'm not sure whether it's prudent that I put all 21 paragraphs if I need to refer
Yeah, you have to.
all 21.
Yeah, state this is Mafaladi, so
Yes.
right. You have to, because the court has got to understand the context.
Yes.
How if you choose one paragraph?
I will do so, my Lord. The statement reads, I, the undersigned, Oh, sorry. I nearly failed to qualify the statement. Now, the document in front of you, if you look at the last page of the document, because the ones that we have, we don't have the initials at the back because there's a powered by a cab scanner that's obliterated your initials and everything. So the document that you have in front of you, do you recognize it?
The document yes.
Yebo.
Yes.
Where was this document made?
Number 9 Beatrix Avenue, Russell Centurion.
Number 9 Beatrix Avenue, Russell Centurion.
And who was the taker of that statement?
Ngicabanga ukuthi uBrigadier
I think Brigadier Gininda.
And when you sat with Brigadier Gininda to take that statement, was he in the company of somebody else or was it just the two of you?
Nkathi ke Brigadier Gininda esithatha konake le statement kwakuyena kuphela noma unomuntu ayehamba naye ngalelo langa lelo?
ngicabanga ukuthi wayenomunye asebenzisana naye.
I think he was
Sergeant Mohale.
I think he was with a colleague, Sergeant Mohale.
And when the statement was made, you were interviewed for the purposes of making this statement. What language was used?
Uluphi ulimi enani khulumisana ngalo?
isiZulu.
And obviously, for obvious reasons, I take that he also spoke Zulu, so you understood each other.
Yebo.
Yes.
And after making this statement and the contents of that be reduced to writing, was it read back to you?
Emuva kokuthi ke statement lesi ke sesenzile ngomamagama esebhale phansi ke ngabe wathi uma seqedile ke wakufundela lokhu akubhaliwe.
Ukucacisa kulokho istatement ngazenzela mina kodwa ngangisenze ngesandla sasingatypiwe.
To explain to that, I reduced the statement to writing myself with my own handwriting, but it wasn't typed.
Okay. And your handwritten statement, once you were satisfied with the contents thereof, you then initialed all the pages and signed the signing page and had it commissioned by Commissioner of Oaths, correct?
Umusuqedile ke wa initial ma wa sign ke muva kokuthi ke emuva kwaloko sasesikommissioner ke.
Yebo.
Yes.
And you are satisfied that the document in front of you confirm that it's your statement?
Nelisekile ukuthi lesi siphambi kwakho isona statement sakho.
Yebo.
Yes.
Thank you, my lord. I mean that as the court places. The statement reads, I, the undersigned, Sizwe Skumbuzo Zungu, with ID, I'll leave it out, 37 years old, state under oath that I reside at, I'll leave the address for security reasons and your cell numbers, and you are employed as a constable at the South African Police Service in Sabenza Police Station. Paragraph 2. On Sunday, 2014, 10/26 at 7:30, I received a call from my nephew, Gwabeni, whose real name is Officer Zungu. He told me to come visit him at Foster Ras Basotho hostel where he was residing. He also told me that our homeboys will be coming to visit as well, the likes of Muzikau Kulelwa Sibia, who is related to Gwabeni, and Nkani's Fiso Zungu Ntuli Mafika, whose real name is Bongani Gwabini. Sorry, Bongani Ntanzi, who is my cousin and is also related to Gwabini, Mtogozisima Pisa, and Nkani, whose real name is Fiso Kushe Zungu Ntuli, and others who are from Opiswene, Nongoma, KwaZulu Natal. He said they will be excited to see me. I told him that I'll be starting at my workplace in Tembisa Police Station. Thereafter, I will come through. Paragraph 3, I received a call from him again at about 10 a.m. He asked me to pick up my nephew, Makosonge, in Johannesburg. He also sent me Makosonke's cell numbers, which I'm not going to read on record. At about 1 p.m., I left the police station and went to pick up Makosonke in Johannesburg. I was communicating with him telephonically using my above cell number until I picked him up at Carlton Center. Then we proceeded to Fosloras. Upon our arrival, we found Gwabini and other boys from Nongoma, whom I know because we all grew up from the same area. However, some of them I have not seen for decades. Gwabini did the introduction as we were all grown up, and we could not recognize each other. He introduced Carlos, who is known to me as Gada, whose real name is Mtobisi Ngube, and also referred to him as a Butelezi boy. Ngani Sfisokuhle Zungu Ntuli, Mafika Bongani Ntanzi, Mthokoziseni Mapisa. I did not need an introduction on Musicaulela Sbia. Carlos, also known as Gada, whose real name is Mtobisi Ngube, and we refer to him at times as Butelezi boy, and Sinako Sibia, because I'm used to them and we see each other more often. We all ate and drank alcohol. I was specifically drinking Jameson whiskey. Others were also sharing the same bottle with me, and others were drinking other kinds of alcohol drinks. We were dancing and singing. I was mixing the whiskey with Indian tonic water as well as ice. It's supposed to be cubes, it's cubes, without counting the ice blocks. I did not order any other alcohol or consume any other different one. I also recall that Muzi's father was around as well, and his names are normally Sibia. Paragraph 4. At about 3 p.m., Sinako Sibia approached me and told me that Nkani Sifito Kutlentuli Zunguntuli is stating that I removed my vehicle because he wanted to go out as I had parked behind his vehicle and blocked his exit. I was driving a state unmarked vehicle, VW Polo, and Nkani was driving a silver gray hatchback Volkswagen Polo. I then went outside and removed the vehicle out of his way, and he left, but I later came back. I then took my bag out of the vehicle as it contained my firearm, and I also put the vehicle key inside the bag. I gave the bag to Gwabini for safekeeping in his room. He locked my bag inside his bedroom as well as Makosonke's bag. We continued to sit together and have a good time, and other males and females joined in. People were just going in and out, including the above mentioned guys. I also at some point went out to the shops to buy some alcohol drinks with a certain lady and came back into Gwabini's house. Paragraph 5. Around 9 p.m. on the very same day, I noticed Muzi Sibia Mafika, in brackets, Sandiso Ntanzi, Nkani Sfisokuhle Zungu Ntuli, walking after each other to Gwabini's bedroom, coming from outside. I stood up and followed them as I was suspicious of the manner in which they entered the house. I could see there was something wrong. I found Gwabini in the bedroom. As I was approaching them, the bedroom, I could hear Gwabini saying, "There comes Babomngani," and somebody switched off the light. I saw Muzi giving Gwabini a .38 special firearm and Nkani giving Gwabini a 9mm firearm. I asked them why are they having firearms on their hands and asked them where they were coming from. No one responded. I then took the .38 special firearm from Gwabeni's hand and looked at it. I asked Gwabeni if it was not the same firearm which he said he threw away in the river after shooting Snako with it. He said it was not the same firearm, but the firearm belonged to Nkani. I then gave him back the firearm. I asked that Gwabeni give me my firearm. He reached for my bag and gave it to me. I took it and checked it, removed the magazine, and counted my bullets. And I found that they were still the same, and I left them.
SI.
Sorry?
SI.
Oh, SI have left them. Sorry. Thank you. I'm indebted. I was checking if they did not take my firearm and use it somewhere. I also smelled it, but I could not pick up anything. I was concerned if they took my firearm and used it to kill people, because I had knowledge that they are Inkabi and in brackets hitmen. I was shouting and I told them if they had done something, it shall be revealed one day. I put my firearm on my body. Mafika walked out of the bedroom. Tokozi said Mapisa and Carlos Mutobisi Nube walked into the bedroom and sat on the bed. Gwabini asked me to give them space as he wanted to discuss something with these guys, that is Carlos, Mapisa, Muzi, and Nkani. I then took my bag and walked out and sat on the lounge and noticed Mafika changing a black hoodie top he was wearing with a gray hoodie top. I asked him to give me one hoodie, as it seems he has many hoodie tops. Mafika walked back to Gwabeni's bedroom to join the others. I did not follow him or hear what they discussed. Paragraph 6. After their meeting, I do recall Muzi approached me and asked for a lift. After a few minutes, Gwabeni asked a lift for Muzi, and I asked where Muzi was staying, and he said just outside the hostel. Muzi drew everyone's attention and asked if we have heard that Senzo Meiwa has died. He was asking loudly as if he was making an announcement. He looked very proud and very excited about the announcement. I commented that he was talking nonsense and that what he was saying was not true, as no one had knowledge of such. There was no media announcements on this. So I did not believe him. There was nothing on the news about his utterances. I told Muzi that I was leaving, and he asked for a lift, and everyone else left, including Mapisa, Nkani, Carlos, and Mafika. I also checked Makosonke, but I could not see him. Gwabeni came to tell me that Makosonke will be sleeping over at his girlfriend's place. I then left to the vehicle with Muzi, and when I reached for the vehicle key inside my bag, I could not find it. I then went back to Gwabeni and found him in the bedroom and asked him where my vehicle key was. We looked everywhere in the bedroom and I could not find it. He said he was calling the guys. He then called and said that others are not picking up and some phones are on voicemail. He eventually thought to Nkani.
Got.
Eh?
Eventually got.
Oh, sorry. He eventually got through to Nkani and asked about the key. Nkani said he will also phone and check the guys. Gwabeni told me that they are coming and bringing the key. My Lord, with respect to what we discussed, can I squat perhaps and have my sip of
You
water?
want to sit down?
Yes.
No ways.
Because
I know there are councils who have disabilities.
yes.
You don't have a disability.
No, not to read and sit down. I just want to have a sip with respect to what they said in
You want to
chambers.
hear what?
With respect to the DJP saying drinking water in court and water from a bottle. So I need to have a sip. Sorry?
I don't reach people.
Okay.
You can drink the water.
Thank you, my lord. I'm indebted. After a few minutes, that's paragraph 7, I'm sorry. After a few minutes, Mthokozisi Mapisa came and gave me back the vehicle key. He apologized and left. I still don't know when, how, and why my key taken out of the bag. I left with Muzi, Mtogo, and the other guy I don't know. I dropped off Muzi along the road just outside Kwaveni's place and not far from where I dropped off Muzi. The other guys alighted. I dropped off Mtogo at engine fuel station at Modderfontein. I then went home. Paragraph 8. On Tuesday, 2014, 10/28, I saw an article on one of the newspaper about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. I also noticed that the sketch of one of the suspects fitted the description of Mafika, in brackets, Bongani Ntanzi, and that he was wearing a black hoodie top, and that the other suspect had dreadlocks, which resembles that of Carlos Gadlan movie. I then started to be suspicious for the fact that on the day they were carrying firearms and fitted the description of the suspects mentioned, and also that Mafika, in brackets, Bongani Ntanzi, was wearing a black hoodie top. I then heard in the media that one of the suspects was arrested. I withdrew my suspicion and I didn't do any follow-up. I later heard again in the media that the suspect who was arrested was actually not the correct suspect, and he was later released. I then had the interest to know who was the arrested guy. I saw his photo on social media platform. I then realized that the suspect that was arrested could not be the correct suspect, as I did not see him mingling him, Carlos Mapisa Mthokozisi Muzi Mafika, on the 26th of October 2014. Paragraph 9. I got hold of the cell phone numbers of General Leshaban, who was then the head of detectives in Gauteng. I called and informed him that I have information about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. He said we should meet at Tembisa police station. He arrived driving a brown Mercedes-Benz SUV. I shared with him all the above mentioned information and my knowledge about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. He said we will do follow-up investigation. After 3 weeks, he called me to say the information I gave him is positive, but he want to further task the detectives to further follow it up. He informed me that he had discovered something on the suspect that is in Rustenburg. He said he will inform the minister Bekikele and the then National Commissioner General Ketlasi Tole. He then asked me about the other suspects. I told him that one of the suspects stays around Tembisa and that he was dealing in drugs. After a few weeks, he called again to ask I assist him with the information of the whereabouts of Muzi Sibia as well as his picture. I provided the general with the requested pictures, but included those of Mafika Ntanzi. I did give him the full information about Muzi and where he could be found, as well as that of Mafika Ntanzi. He said he will pursue the information and update me about the outcome of the investigation. I later learned from the general that they managed to arrest Muzi for dealing in drugs, and he questioned him about the case of Senzo Meyiwa. He told me that Muzi disputed information, but he implicated his uncle, who is a well-known general, who is well known to the general. I know that Muzi's uncle was known as Butle Spiva Ntuli, and I know that he was killed few years ago. The general was at that stage no longer the head of detectives in Gauteng, but he was the cluster commander in Tembisa. Paragraph 10. Sorry. Few weeks later, Muzi Sibia was arrested on drugs related charges. I was then phoned by Butle Spiva Ntuli after his release from police custody. Butle said that he urgently wanted to see me. We agreed to meet at the Tembisa Plaza. After a few minutes, he phoned and informed me that he has arrived, but I told him I'm at the Tembisa police station, and he advised me to meet him there. He arrived in a brown Polo sedan at the police station with Mafika Bongani Ntanzi and 4 unknown males. He alighted from the vehicle and I asked that I help him with 2 illegal firearms. I was shocked with his request, as I've never done such activity with him. I then suspected that they came to identify me in order to kill me with regard to the information I gave to General Leshabane about the murder of Senzo Meiwa. I know that Butle Spiva Ntuli was a well-known taxi killing hitman in brackets in Kabi. In 2019, my sister was getting married customarily in Nongoma. Muzi was also present as is from the neighborhood. He is also a relative to my nephew Gwabeni, and Gwabeni is my nephew. Muzi told me about this arrest of dealing in drugs in Tembisa, and he did not deny that he was dealing in drugs. However, he said he was questioned about the suspicion that he was involved in the killing of Senzo Meiwa. I responded to say that I also heard that he is involved in the killing of Senzo Meiwa. He did not deny, but he said the Senzo Meiwa matter is a complex and sensitive, and he suggested that we speak about it at a different venue and at the later stage, because he was not the only one involved in the killing of Senzo Meiwa, and that this was discussed within our families. He said this while Gwabini was approaching, and he was clear that he did not want Gwabini to hear the discussion. Muzi wanted me to assist him in suppressing the case of Senzo Meiwa and remove his name from it by not mentioning his name anyway. We did not finalize our discussion as Gwabini joined us. What Muzi did not know was that Gwabeni was talking to me openly about Muzi's involvement in the killing of Senzo Meiwa. Paragraph 12. Subsequent to this event, I received a call from Muzi. He indicated that from Nongoma he went to Mpumalanga. He wanted us to arrange a follow-up discussion of Senzo Meiwa murder and how I could assist. We agreed to meet when he is back in Johannesburg. Paragraph 13. The same year, 2019, I received a call from General Lishaban, who asked me to meet him at his cluster office in Klorkop, Kempton Park. It was possibly Sunday at around 1700 hours when I arrived in his office. I met General Lishabani. He informed me that he did further investigation and followed up on the information Muzi gave him about the involvement of his uncle Butle Spiva Ntuli, who was well known to him. The general told me that he has found that Muzi was directly involved in the murder of Senzo Meiwa and that the information he gave was accurate and correct. He informed me that he has invited General Sibia, who is the head of the Hawks in Gauteng, so that he can brief him on this case and see how he will weigh the information and evidence that we have. Indeed, at around 1900 hours, a gentleman arrived who was introduced to me as General Sibia by General Leshabane. General Leshabane briefed General Sibia about the information. I gave him, and also that he conducted his investigation and managed to link Muzi and Bongani Ntanzi about their involvement in this case. I was also invited to share the information clearly to General Sibia. General Sibia responded to say, according to his knowledge, the information is correct and accurate. General Sibia asked General Shaban, who was dealing with this case from the Office of the National Commissioner. General Shaban said it was Lieutenant Gininda. General Sibia proposed to General Shaban that Warrant Officer Makubo must be called to come through and listen to the information. However, General Shabani did not have the cell number of Warrant Officer Makubo. General Sibia gave General Shabani the cell numbers of Makubo, and he called Makubo. Warrant Officer arrived after 30 minutes. General Shabani shared the information with him, and Makubo refuted the information and told us that I'm lying and that there is no such information and evidence that link Nkani, that is in brackets Officer Zungu. He disputed everything I shared with them and said that I must reveal my source. Warrant Officer Makubu showed us a picture of Nkani and said he arrested Nkani on other matters in KwaZulu-Natal and that Nkani is not involved in the matter of Senzo Meiwa, as well as the other suspects I have mentioned. He further accused me of coming to them with baseless information. He kept on insisting that I reveal my source and bring him. Upon realizing that he wanted to know where do I get the information and who is my source, I agreed that I will bring the source. The meeting ended with a clear understanding to me that warrant officer did not want to take the information I have shared with them. After the meeting, I left with Warrant Officer Makubo to drop me off at Tembisa Police Station and General Sibia and left General Sibia and General Leshabani. Paragraph 14. In the same year, I received a call from a lady who identified herself as Lieutenant Colonel Buthelezi, who said she was a forensic investigator in the murder of Senzo Meiwa. The officer asked to meet me in relation to the information I gave to Warrant Officer Makubo, and we agreed to meet at McDonald's, Kempton Park. When we met, I realized that she was in the company of Warrant Officer Makubo. She asked me to repeat the information that I have shared with Warrant Officer Makubo, and I did. She further asked me about my relationship to the suspect, which I have explained. She also asked if I'm related and know Kelly Kumalo, and I told her that I do not know her, nor am I related to her, except for seeing her on social media platforms. Lieutenant Colonel Buthelezi accused me and General Leshabane of trying to protect Kelly Kumalo and shift the blame to the suspects I was mentioning. She told me that she has evidence that implicate Kelly in the murder and that the shooter was one of those who were in the house. I disagreed with her based on the information I had, and our discussions ended with no fruitful outcome. Paragraph 15. In the same year, 2019, I went to Tolcom Towers at SAPS head office where I met with Brigadier Gininda, then a colonel. I shared with him the information and the knowledge I heard about the suspects involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. Brigadier promised me that he will follow up the information and do the investigation. On the 11th of November 2019, I received a call from General Leshabane on my cell number, which I'm not going to read, and he informed me that Brigadier Gininda, then Colonel from the National Commissioner's Office, wanted to see me on the following day, that is the 12th of November 2019, and I have agreed. On the following day, I went to the Tembisa Cluster's Commander's Office, General Leshabane's office. I found the General and he phoned Brigadier Gininda, but Brigadier told him that he will not make it to the meeting and asked that the meeting be rolled over to the following day on the 13th November 2019, and he said the meeting place must be at Kempton Park. After speaking on the phone with Brigadier Gininda, he asked me after speaking on the phone with Brigadier Gininda, he asked me how did Brigadier Gininda came to know about the information of the murder of Meyiwa, and I told him that I'm the one who shared the information with the Brigadier. He asked me to not further share the information with him, as he wanted the Brigadier to hit the brick wall and not get the information. On the 13th of November 2019, I met with the Brigadier at Kempton Park. He was in the company of Brigadier Tony, who he said he identified as his colleague. In that meeting, I was interviewed further by the two officers in relation to the information I gave to Brigadier Gininda. I gave all the information at my disposal because it was clear that officers were doing investigation, who were doing the investigation. On the information, I gave the information. I was also asked to identify one of my parents or senior relative who can confirm my relation with the suspects, as I have indicated that I come from the same area as them. I identify my father as the person who can confirm my relationship with the suspect. Subsequent to the meeting with the two officers, I met General Leshabane, who asked me how did the meeting go. I informed him that I decided to tell the Brigadier all the information I have about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, despite his warning that I should not share the information with the Brigadier. I could see that the General was not happy about my response. Paragraph 17. On the 18th of November 2018, around 07:13, I walked to the spaza in my area, Tembisa. I noticed silver brown Corolla parked a few minutes away to the place of my residence. I was passing by the vehicle. I saw three occupants, whom one is known to me Nkazamulo as Nkazamulo Ntuli, who is related to Muzi Sibia and Ngani Sfisokuhle Ntuli. I managed to see Nkazamulo because he was sitting at the back and the window where he was seated was open. I proceeded to the shop and bought a cigarette. When I walked back from the shop, as I was passing by the same vehicle, Nkazamulo extended his hand holding a firearm and pointed it toward my direction. The firearm was a pistol, black in color. I could see he was trying to aim and shoot at me, and I started to run away towards the direction of the shop and jumped into people's yard until I got home. I was not in possession of my service pistol. I went home and took my pistol. When I went out to confront them, the vehicle was no longer there. I then phoned General Leshabane and reported this incident to him. I further informed the General that I suspect that the information I shared about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa could have leaked from his side, because I know that the suspects who came to shoot me are known to him. and they know each other. General asked me if I have opened the case, and I said no. He offered that he will send the vehicle to pick me up and take to his cluster office. I informed the general that I will make means to get to his office on my own. The reason I said that is because I was wary of the involvement in the incident that took place. I then phoned Gwabini Officer Zungu. Gwabini, who I know is a relative to all these suspects, including Muzi Sibia. I informed Gwabini of the incident which has just taken place to alert him, as I suspected that they wanted to kill me because I was busy sharing the information with the police about the suspects who are involved in the Senzo Meiwa, in the murder of Meiwa, and wanted Gwabini to watch his back as he also had information and knowledge about the case. Paragraph 19. We arranged to meet with Gwabini on the very same day at Jamestown so that we could discuss the matter in person. We met in Jamestown as arranged. Gwabini then called Nkazamulo in my presence and inquired why they were attempting to shoot me. Nkazamulo denied that he had attempted to shoot me, but I maintained my position that I know him very well and I know what I saw him doing. We called Muzi and informed him that his relatives are trying to kill me for the case of Senzo Meiwa, where he is suspected to have been involved. Prior to this call, Gwabini informed me that the right person to call was Muzi because he was very stressed and panicking that I'm giving out information about the involvement in the killing of Senzo Meiwa. Muzi acknowledged that he is aware that his relatives wanted to kill me because they also believed that I was selling them out to the police for their involvement in the murder of Senzo Meiwa. He further said that he will not speak to them and he further said that he will speak to them and tell them to stop what they were trying to do to me immediately, but insisted that I should meet with him and discuss this matter and avoid future incidents of this nature. Muzi also said Gwabini must give me his current cell numbers, as we called him, using Gwabini's cell number, and placed him on a speaker. Gwabini gave me Muzi's current cell number at that time. Later the same day, I phoned Muzi, and he confirmed that he did speak to his relatives that they will stop trying to kill me. And he further insisted that we should meet, but we never met until he was arrested for the killing of Senzo Meiwa. I was also told by Gwabini that Muzi's father is grateful that I'm willing to meet his son and resolve the Senzo Meiwa case instead of getting his son arrested. Paragraph 20. I thereafter proceeded to General Leshabani's office, where I met him and reiterated the incident of that morning. The general asked if I have informed Brigadier Gininda, and I said yes. He then said he will speak to the uncle of the suspect in order to stop this attempt. The general further told me that we should stop engaging and discuss about the Senzo Meiwa case, and that we should leave it to the national head office. I can recall that Gwabini's cell number is Warawara. I'm not going to read it. Paragraph 21. I can also confirm that Carlos Mngube had dreadlocks and gold tooth insection on the upper part of his teeth. On the day of the killing of Senzo Meiwa, he is also appearing on A94 in the following photo numbers from 10 to 17. On page 17, he appears with Nkani Sifiso Butlentuli He also appears on photo 22 to 24 and 31, 34 to 35, 46 to 48 in the police docket marked Fosloras Cas 63610 of 24. Section A, Volume 4, Mtokozi Cinema Pisa also appear in photos 7, 170, 17, 23. I can also confirm that the sketch that I saw back in 2014 of Bongani Tanzi is the same as I saw in Fosloras Cas 6361024, Section A, Volume 3, A154, page 2, and in brackets 8 of 8, and paragraph 22. I know and understand the contents of the statement. I have no objection to taking this prescribed oath. I know the prescribed I consider the prescribed oath to be binding on my oath, and it is duly certified and signed by the Commission of Oaths. My Lord, I'm being told that it's 1 o'clock, my Lord.
6. When are we attending?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Okay, then I say 2.